Michael R. is back. Michael, we missed you last time. I think that was the first Please Hold for Day Sim that didn't have a Michael R. question, and we're making up for that with three attachments to this question. I was reading Madman Atomic Comics issue number 3 from July 2007. In this issue, Mike Allred attempted many art styles of various artists. 255, if I counted right. I have never seen Atomic Comics number 3, but just looking at the one that you sent through, that's a very, very, very impressive piece of work, which is always interesting when you're looking at something that blows your socks off. You find out it's from 16 years ago, and why haven't people been talking about this ever since? Well, because we got a lot of amazing stuff happening in the comic book field. You were on the list, and I believe you were on page 25, second row and second image from the right. It looks like Swoon. And I'll go along with you on that one, which, again, I'm very impressed that Mike Allred could do a Madman that if I was just scanning that page, I'd go, yeah, that looks like Swoon to me. I'm guessing on this. Some were very easy to match up, some artists not so much, and some I never heard of. But anyway, my questions are, did you ever meet Mike and Laura Allred? Yes, I did. And how did Mike Allred get involved in drawing the Glamour Puss cover number 19? And here we get into Grandpa's memory territory again. My memory isn't what it used to be. So anytime these situations come up, I try to start from what I do remember. I specifically remember, yes, this did happen. What the sequence of events leading up to that was, that I'm a little fuzzier on. And so I will say that the tag end of the story was I had done Cerebus as Madman, an actual color piece, and I contacted Mike Allred, and I'm pretty sure that I had done an episode of Cerebus TV where I filmed myself doing the Cerebus as Madman, and had Mike and Laura's phone number, and phoned and said, you might want to check out Cerebus TV this week because I did Cerebus as Madman. And oh, great, yes, you definitely wanted to check that out. I didn't realize at the time, and this is where I'm starting to try and piece it together, so I'm on kind of thin ice saying this, but I didn't realize how big a deal it was for Mike Allred to get as many different cartoonists doing their character as Madman, or doing their version of Madman. And this would have been, if it was on Cerebus TV, if I am remembering that part correctly, then that would be about 2009, 2008. I'm kind of fuzzy on those dates as well. But I do remember Mike getting back to me and saying, and I would say, if you want to buy it, you're the obvious top of the line customer. you tell me what you would be willing to pay for a color piece, Cerebus' Madman, that you can see on TV. This is what it's going to look like. This is how big it is. And he said, Laura won't let me buy artwork. And it's like, okay, part of me is, Dave Sim, the evil misogynist, going, dude, it's your artwork. How can Laura tell you that you can't buy artwork? But then that's one of those, if you're an OCD art buyer, either you have to do an intervention with yourself, or your wife has to do an intervention at some time and go, no more buying artwork. You cannot buy artwork because you're cutting into our grocery money, or you're not actually going that far. But we got 2 kids, we got a house. The money has to go for that, and no more buying artwork. You can trade for artwork. So that was how that one happened. Was I went, oh, okay. Well, if you're talking about trading for artwork, how about if you do a Glamour Plus cover? I will send you pages that I've already got done on that was the League of Extraordinary Hose Bags. Thinking, wow, this will be great because Mike Allred does superheroes, so he can draw one of them. But he glommed on far more onto just doing a Glamour Bus with the tongue hanging out and the eyes crossed, and it's a gorgeous cover. I love the cover for Glamour Bus number 19. But that's how that happened. Was I'll do that cover for you, and then you send me the Cerebus as Madman. At some point out of this, I got, and I have to bend over and pick this up, a book that is easily 900 pages long, Madman Gargantua, published by Image Comics, when Madman had landed at Image. And I'm going, where did I get this in the process? I'm looking inside it, and it's not personalized by Mike, but it definitely has all of the early issues of Madman. And that was another trip to comic book school for Grandpa today, going, I had forgotten so much of this history, that the first few issues of Madman actually came out from Tundra. That was one of the earliest Tundra titles. And then it went from there to Oni Press, and then from there, either from there to Dark Horse, or from Dark Horse to Oni Press.
Dark Horse to Oni Press sounds right.
What's that?
Dark Horse to Oni sounds right. Because
right.
I have a bunch of the Madman stuff, and if I remember right, the first appearance of the character was self-published, but he wasn't Madman. He was just Frank Einstein.
Right.
Then...
Right. Madman was I think a Tundra innovation. We have to call this something that's catchier or whatever.
And then it went to Dark Horse, then it went to Ani, then he self-published for a while, or else then he went to Image, then he self-published.
Right. And what's interesting is the pinups in this book. I don't know if Madman Gargantua is still available from Image, but each issue had a pinup, and the pinups, just to make your head spin like the propeller on a beanie. Jack Kirby, Frank Frazetta, Alex Toth, Barry Windsor Smith, Mobius, Dave Stevens, Joe Kubert, Bill Stout, Lee and Eric Powell, with bonus pinup section in the volume, Jim Lee, Eric Larson, Mark Silvestri, Jim Valentino, Todd McFarlane, Mario Hernandez, Gilbert Hernandez, Jaime Hernandez, Paul Ravache, Peter Cooper, Bruce Kim, Dan Brereton, Paul Pope, and Darwin Cook. Is that like, how in the hell did you put that together? So at that point, it was, okay, now I understand why wanting a Dave Sim Cerebus as Madman was such a big deal. But it's, did I get the book first and then decide to do the pinup? I don't know if it's a false memory, but part of me is going, I got the book, and by the time I had read almost 900 pages of Madman, you couldn't have stopped me from doing a Cerebus as Madman. I wanted to do a whole issue of Madman because it's amazing, idiosyncratic work. It's Mike Allred makes it look so easy and fun, and obviously it's not easy and fun, but boy, I'd like to do one of these. So that's the best I can do in terms of piecing that together. And I'm trying to figure out where the golden plate figures into this, because that was another thing that was a bolt from the blue, was Mike Allred, who I believe is a Mormon, and I believe Laura's a Mormon, decided to adapt the Book of Mormon and self-publish it. And at some point I got that in the mail from him, in which case, why don't I still have a cover letter in the Cerebus archive? And why do I not have the golden plates in issue 1 in the Cerebus archive? How many issues did he get done of the golden plates? Because the Book of Mormon is not a slender work. And couldn't find it in the Overstreet guide. Mike Allred's The Golden Plates isn't in the Overstreet guide? Well, if it is now, it wasn't 3 years ago. So I've answered your questions, Michael, as best I can, and those are all the questions that, as I was running around today trying to research Please Hold for Dave Sim, which I always like to do. It's like, for every question that I'm answering, there's another bunch of questions coming up.
It was a 6-issue series.
It was a 6-issue series, and it was finite.
It was first illustrated in 2005.
That makes sense. Because there was my reaction was, how about that? Somebody else is actually putting their religious convictions into a comic book, knowing what a snake pit that is in the almost exclusively atheistic comic book field. So it was like it was God's clockwork mechanism. It was also God saying to me, "No, you're not completely unique in this." But the bad news is you are almost completely unique in this. Really, it's just you and Mike Allred doing this.
What the?
So there you go. That's welcome back, Michael R. And it would be interesting to revisit some of this and find out. Okay, how many of these questions are even answerable at this point? Thank you for telling me that the Golden Plates was 2005.
because I'm connected to my buddy the internet. Blog and Mail number 268 from 2007. I just did a search for, because I remember a Blog and Mail, I think, talking about the Glamour Puss cover, but the timing might be off there. So I just did a search for Mike Allred, and Mike Allred's mentioned in there, but it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't look like this particular Blog and Mail talks about the golden plates.
Anyway, Sherlock Holmes is on the case. You will have plenty of time to pursue all of that, and hopefully give all of the viewers all of the Mike Allred intel that's available. And if we get to the point where we get something figured out on Cerebus TV, it'll be interesting to find out if that's a false memory. No, Grandpa, you did not film yourself doing the Cerebus as Mike Allred's Madman. Or, by God, Grandpa, you haven't lost it completely. Here's that episode right here. So there you go. Look at the treasure hunt that you set us on, Michael R. of Easton, Pennsylvania.